Welcome back. A fire station in Venice is in desperate need of repairs. That's according to city government.
The building has a rat issue, a potential mold issue, and there were plenty of holes in the roof. ABC 7's Christopher Brantley is joining us now live from Fire Station 1 with what's being done to address these problems. Christopher.
Good evening, Scott and Haley. For years, the city has known that this building is falling apart, but there's really been no money to make any major repairs, and so they haven't.
I guess the big question is how much money we put in this place before we say enough is enough.
Well, this week that question may be answered. The City of Venice has a building assessment team rating the condition of city-owned buildings. Fire Station 1 is one of them. Their recommendation will come in the next month.
Yeah, it's not going to last much longer. It's going to, if we don't remove the building altogether, build a new one, it's going to need a complete, re-roofing.
The city has set aside $1 million in next year's budget for emergency repairs, but money hasn't been set aside for a new building. The roof leaks. These large holes probably have something to do with that.
Just at a point where it's so old, you fix it, you patch it. While you're up there, you put a little too much weight somewhere, you'll make another hole in it.
There has also been a rodent problem.
It's got mold. The AC units are pretty well shot. The air quality's bad inside. If you look in the back, there's metal doors that are rusted.
In fact, these doors aren't actually doors at all anymore. They're just casually leaning against the department's storage building, not connected to anything.
That's not a very good working condition, in my view, for our public safety people. So I think we need to get this high on the agenda and get it replaced.
The city, to its own admission, has let the building go. Now they want to pick up the pieces and fix it, or build a new one. There's a small possibility the station could be moved to the airport grounds. Meantime, the firefighters and paramedics are making do with the difficult conditions. Virtually everyone agrees the roof is one strong gust away from having a catastrophic problem. And not only could first responders be under that roof if there is a problem, but $1.4 million in fire trucks could also be damaged. Live in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Christopher, thank you. And construction is almost complete on a new fire station in Northport. Crews are putting the finishing touches on Station 85 at Ponce and Biscayne. It has 3 truck bays, a kitchen, dining area, bedrooms, workout facilities, and offices. There's also a decontamination room with an emergency eye wash and shower. 6 firefighters will be able to work at the station at one time. The city spent $3.6 million on the facility and land, and it's scheduled to open by the end of the month.
Manatee County's 911 system now has new technology that will save emergency responders precious moments when home alarms go off. The program is called Automated Secure Alarm Protocol. It allows alarm companies like Brinks and Vector to send information directly to the 911 call center instead of having to go through an operator first. The county says this change will shave up to 3 minutes from call processing time. So emergency responders can answer fire, medical emergency, and burglary calls faster.
So instead of tying up another call taker, it's now on the dispatch side, and the dispatch can ask any questions like, hey, is there a key hidden, or, do you have a patient update? So it's saving a lot of the time of holding up the call taking side.
According to county officials, half of all Manatee County property owners with emergency monitoring systems, an estimated 75,000 homes and businesses, will benefit from this new technology.
Nearly a decade after the economic downturn of 2008, Sarasota's housing market is thriving. The Tampa area is case in point, losing thousands of homes to foreclosure in the past decade, and now real estate analytics company called 10X ranks it as the nation's healthiest housing market. And the online real estate site Trulia ranks Sarasota in the top 10 hottest real estate markets of 2017. Real estate agents we talked to say that has a lot to do with a boom in new construction and the competition that creates with the resale market.
When you see the builder population investing in our area, that's a pretty good telltale sign that they believe it's healthy as well. So that's affecting all of the resale markets. So I don't think that there's any bubble out there right now, not in the immediate future that I can see.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, we take a look at the housing market and Florida's history of boom and bust.
Riders and drivers are still getting used to a new Florida law that creates statewide regulations for the fast-growing ride-sharing industry. The law, which went into effect on July 1st, creates a more uniform standard for companies including Uber and Lyft. The companies can now operate for the first time in places like Key West, where they had not been allowed. Expanded ride-sharing options are also now available at commercial airports where there was previously restrictions, including Orlando International and Fort Myers. The general manager for Uber in Florida says the new law should bring consistency to those who rely on ride sharing.
For the drivers, it means one continuous set of rules and regulations to comply with, and they can drive anywhere throughout the state. For the riders, it means the riders who are used to opening up that app wherever they are and requesting that ride, you can now get that same consistent experience throughout the state.
The law also includes insurance and background check requirements that are less stringent than what critics have previously sought.
Let's get a check on our weather again. Some afternoon thunderstorms in the area. Let's get the check on where they are with Bob Harrigan.
Yeah, there's some isolated areas right now near Venice, stretching near Osprey and Nokomis, and all the way down to Inglewood. Some very heavy rain and dangerous lightning. That's the big key right now. Could see wind gusts too, up to near 40 to 45 miles an hour. A live sweep of the radar indicating that we have two areas of intense lightning now occurring along I-75 near Osprey and to the east of Osprey, and also all the way down to near Venice, the Venetian getting hit hard into Plantation, also into looks like all the way down to near Inglewood. It's north of Inglewood right now, but it is moving off toward the west. Lightning strikes just in the last 5 to 10 minutes, 320 strikes, 100 of those, 114 have been positive, and those are only increasing right now. We take a 3D slice of the map, and you can see the storm tops are up to 40,000 feet or 50,000 feet and growing at times as they make their way to the west. A special marine warning is out for the coastal waters all the way from Sarasota County southward down into Charlotte County right now due to that intense line and some very heavy rainfall now moving into Osprey, Nokomis, and Venice. Currently here, Sarasota Bay looking pretty good, but we have some showers nearby. More in the forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. An emergency UN Security Council meeting held today to discuss North Korea's latest missile test, with the U.S. officials now describing that intercontinental ballistic missile fired by North Korea as one they have not seen before. Overnight, the U.S. responded with its own show of force after military experts saying that missile has the potential to reach the U.S. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has the latest.
The United Nations holding an emergency meeting with the U.S. demanding global action in response to a global threat from North Korea.
Make no mistake, North Korea's launch of an ICBM is a clear and sharp military escalation and the threat to all nations in the region and beyond.
As Americans celebrated on July 4th, North Korea successfully launched a two-stage intercontinental ballistic missile that fired some 1,700 miles straight into the sky. But experts say had the North Koreans angled the trajectory for distance, not height, the missile could travel well over 4,000 miles, meaning it could reach the U.S. mainland.
So when does this happen? A year, 2 years, maybe 3. But we need to remember we have consistently underestimated the progress of the North Korean program.
The U.S. responded by performing joint military exercises with South Korea, firing a volley of short-range missiles into the waters off the coast of the Korean peninsula. President Trump so far blaming China for failing to restrain North Korea, tweeting, "So much for China working with us." This as North Korean leader Kim Jong-un continues to taunt America, saying this was a package of gifts on Independence Day and the final step in creating a confident and powerful nuclear state that can strike anywhere on Earth. For now, North Korea is vowing no negotiations. And according to a top American commander in South Korea, the only thing keeping the U.S. from going to war with North Korea right now is self-restraint. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Tonight, President Trump is off on his second overseas trip since taking office, leaving with the First Lady. The president told reporters, quote, we're gonna do very well. As he left for Poland and the G20 summit in Germany. He arrived there in Poland a short time ago. On Friday, he has his first face-to-face with Russian President Vladimir Putin. That meeting comes during multiple ongoing investigations into Russia's meddling with the presidential election, something the U.S. intelligence community believes Putin ordered directly and something President Trump has consistently cast doubt on.
The idea that Donald Trump would show up in a meeting with Vladimir Putin and not say something about the election would be astounding.
Meanwhile, the Russians have their own agenda. Putin is likely to press President Trump on easing U.S. sanctions and reinstating the diplomatic compounds in the U.S. that were confiscated by the Obama administration.
Soaring temperatures across the Sunshine State can pose dangerous risks to both humans and pets. In Boynton Beach, police had to smash a car window to rescue a dog from a hot vehicle. A passerby spotted the dog in the car while the owner was inside of a bank. The car's engine was off and all of the windows were rolled up. After waiting nearly 15 minutes, police smashed the window and gave the dog some water. The owner was not arrested, but police later issued a stern warning on Facebook, saying it is never okay to leave your pet in an unattended vehicle.
You know, you can just sit in your car, turn the car off, and the car gets hot immediately.
In 30 seconds to a minute or so, you are already feeling really hot. So
Yeah.
imagine what the dog is feeling.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, more and more teens addicted to cell phones.
The new research looks at how all of that screen time is affecting their sleep patterns and risk of depression. The findings straight ahead.
Now's the perfect time to work with California Closets. During our Shades of White event, save up to 20% on our beautiful white finishes for any space in your home. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get 1 more free. Call today.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View. I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. Invasive lionfish and what they mean to our coastline, plus the marvelous Wondrettes perform and Sharkies on the Piers in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Now's the perfect time to work with California Closets. During our Shades of White event, save up to 20% on our beautiful white finishes for any space in your home. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Half of all teenagers say they're addicted to their phones. No surprise.
Yep, you see it everywhere. Now a new study in the journal Child Development shows nighttime use of cell phone can increase anxiety and depression in teens and reduce self-esteem. Mental health experts say teens spending nighttime hours on their phone disrupts their sleep and it suppresses the amount of melatonin the body produces. Not getting the right amount of sleep raises the risk for depression. Researchers also note that rates of anxiety and depression in young people have risen 70% over the past couple of decades.
If you're sweating it out already this summer, you are not alone, but more worrying that those sweat stains that the heat can hurt you and be even deadly. ABC's Emily Rao has some tips on how to stay safe.
It's on the beach, at the pool, and in the concrete jungle. It's heat, and with several areas of the country already facing heat warnings, millions of Americans may find themselves dealing with the dangers of extreme temperatures. Fortunately, the CDC offers steps you can take to beat the heat and keep yourself safe. First, do your best to stay cool. This means choosing lightweight, loose-fitting clothing, limiting outdoor activity to morning and evening hours, and keeping things cool inside as well. Second, stay hydrated. Drink enough water regardless of how active you are, and limit those sugary and alcoholic drinks since they can leave you dehydrated. And third, stay informed. This means being aware of any extreme heat alerts in your area and knowing the signs of heat-related illness so you can act fast. Also, keep an eye on those more vulnerable. That includes older people, infants and young children, and those with certain illnesses and conditions. Simple tips to make sure you don't sweat it out when it comes to the summer heat. With this Medical Minute, I'm Emily Rao.
And now we'll head over to Bob. Speaking of the summer heat, we're feeling it today.
Yeah, 102, the hottest heat index today, this afternoon, right around 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon. That's what it felt like out there. So your body has to deal with. So stay hydrated, obviously loose colored and light color, I should say, loose fitting clothing the best. As far as the rain goes, well, we have a large area of it now developing. A significant weather advisory has been placed into Sarasota County from Sarasota southward all the way to Inglewood for the most part. As a result of this cell that is generating a tremendous amount of lightning, heavy rainfall, and also the possibility of wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour as it makes its way to the west at around 10 miles an hour. You can see that lightning is just intense right now, and that is covering, again, just north of Inglewood, all the way through Venice and along I-75. Treacherous driving conditions now into Osprey and Nokomis, and stretching all the way up now to near Siesta Key. This line is starting to intensify near Clark Road and Fruitville. Not much going on in the Manatee County at this hour. However, we'll have to keep an eye on that sea breeze front as it interacts with the heavier rainfall now moving through Highlands County. So I think it will build to the northward. Now we are looking at some dry air in place. So this is shutting down most of the activity across the state. However, it seems to have picked up right there at Sarasota County and really exploded this afternoon as far as storms go. High pressure remains in control over the southeast and across Florida right now. We're on the south end of it, so we're getting this east to southeasterly wind component. And with that drier air around, not as much activity tomorrow, but there'll still be some storms around. The heat index has dropped to 98. That's what it feels like now. 89 the actual temperature. We had a little brief shower at the airport, and 74 in the dew point. The humidity at 61%. We have a west wind now. The high was warm, 94 degrees, not close to the record at 98, but still well above the average of 89 degrees. 76 was the morning low. And the rainfall, well, we're getting some now, some light rainfall near the airport earlier. We'll get that tally for you at 11 o'clock, but the heaviest rain by far stretching from near Siesta Key southward to just north of Inglewood, hitting Venice, Osprey, Nokomis as well. And temperatures will start to cool there. Temperatures now into the upper 80s just over the last 30 minutes, but those will start to cool down into the upper 70s here shortly, if not already, like Sebring and Avon Park have already into the upper 70s there. Cortez at 89, Braden, you're at 91 with no rain around at this time. Limited activity tomorrow with that drier air in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. One or two will be able to penetrate through that and develop into a storm or two tomorrow, but the rain chance is not all that high. The low pressure area that you see over Missouri will continue to track off to the east right now, and it looks as though some showers will continue throughout Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and into Ohio. For tonight, showers progress off into the Gulf, fade away, and then we'll look for generally fair skies after midnight. Not as much tomorrow as this model is depicting, and the forecast is calling for better chances for some more widespread rain beginning on Saturday and Sunday. Those rain chances are elevated at 50 to 60% for showers and storms to move onshore, and looks like Friday even a little bit better chance of getting some rain around town. Well, in the tropics, we are watching an area of disturbed weather out here, and this is looking better organized on the satellite imagery as it makes its way to the west, and the forecast models continue to take it off to the west northwest. And as it gains latitude, it's better news for us here in Florida. So a lot of the models are indicating that's what's going to happen. Although this is the GFS, a couple of those are starting to track it back toward the Bahamas. Just have to wait and see on this one. But right now, indications are it looks like it should miss Florida. Winds out of the southeast, turning to the southwest tomorrow at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be 1 to 2 feet. Obviously, the forecast tonight calling for scattered showers and storms, some of those intense like we're seeing right now. And be sure to stay tuned to ABC7 as well as download your weather app. You can get more information on that too when it comes to weather warnings and advisories. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. Right now, traffic is still backed up on US 41 in both the north and southbound lanes right near Fruitville Road in Sarasota.
Volvo is going all in on electric cars. The Chinese-owned company is hitting the brakes on gas-only engines, announcing that all of its cars built from 2019 forward will have some sort of electric motor. Between 2019 and 2021, Volvo plans to launch 5 fully electric vehicles. The rest of the fleet will either be plug-in hybrids or vehicles that combine a battery with a small gas engine. The change was likely influenced by Chinese auto company Geely, which bought Volvo in 2010, because China's pollution problems are raising the demand for electric vehicles there.
It's something Americans take for granted, being able to board a plane with our laptops. But for travelers in Dubai and Istanbul, it's a privilege that has just been restored. Passengers flying to the U.S. from those 2 cities will no longer have to check their laptops. Emirates and Turkish Airlines say the ban on large electronic devices has been lifted. The ban has also been lifted for Abu Dhabi's Etihad Airways. So I hardly ever travel with my laptop anymore, though. It's just really, you can do almost everything on your phone.
Yeah. And if you're going on vacation, maybe you don't want to take it.
That's another thing.
It's those business travelers that
they need that. That's a must for sure. Yeah.
Entertainment news is next. Stay with us.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why is
heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Hollywood great Olivia de Havilland is launching her own sequel to the TV series Feud, a lawsuit.
Yeah, the double Oscar-winning actress sued FX Networks and producer Ryan Murphy's company, alleging unauthorized and false use of her name and invasion of privacy. The suit was filed Friday, just one day before de Havilland turned 101 years old. The actress, whose credits include the role of Melanie Hamilton in Gone with the Wind, now lives in Paris. De Havilland's suit alleges that Feud used her name and identity without permission.
Kelly Clarkson is once again shutting down online body shamers. The 35-year-old singer snapped back at one particularly rude social media user who tweeted last night, "You're fat." The American Idol alum simply replied, "And still expletive awesome." That reply prompted Clarkson's fans to go wild on Twitter.
A truce in a literary legal battle. The estate of author J.R.R. Tolkien has sued Warner Brothers for $80 million, claiming the studio had no right to create digital products like online games based on Tolkien's Hobbit and Lord of the Rings books. After 5 years of back and forth, the litigants say they have reached a resolution.
A new MTV reality show filmed on Siesta Key will premiere in just a few weeks. The show is called Siesta Key. It's about a group of young adults who return home for the summer after spending their freshman year in college. MTV is running ads for the show, teasing from the hills to the beach. Welcome to Siesta Key. The show will premiere on July 31st at 10 p.m. I know there are a lot of people in the area that are not happy about this. They're worried that it'll cast a bad light, but you know, the saying is all publicity is good publicity, so I don't know.
They don't want to see another Jersey Shore.
They don't. Let's hope not. Oh, let's hope not. We'll be right back.
Now's the perfect time to work with California Closets. During our Shades of White event, save up to 20% on our beautiful white finishes for any space in your home. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.